Well, Logan Paul had a very wrestling-centric episode of his podcast ImPaulsive this week, both with Cody Rhodes being on the show and talking about his own experience at the Royal Rumble. Logan Paul made the big surprise return to the WWE. Everybody thought he was out on the shelf with a torn-up knee, and apparently he is good to go. He is cleared. He said he wasn't cleared until the day of the show. I don't know if I buy that necessarily, or why else would he be there ready to roll, but he was number 29, a surprise entrant in the Rumble, which was a good surprise. Look, I wasn't too fond of this year's Rumble as far as like the surprises go and everything. I would have thought Triple H, this being his first year in charge of creative, that he would have maybe gone a little further and leaned into like the surprise entrance and telling more stories throughout the show. But I think, once it got towards the end, that Final Four especially, and I don't think Logan was Final Four or Final Five maybe even. I feel like the Rumble, ended pretty strongly, and you saw Logan throw out Seth Rollins, which I think is setting up a WrestleMania match between those two. But it was the spot that stole the show. Other than, of course, the Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns angle at the end of the show. But at least for the Rumble, the most memorable moment of the Rumble, the spot that stole the spotlight, if you will, Ricochet, Logan Paul, each on each side of the ring. And they both fucking springboard up and just right in the middle of the ring and fall down. Apparently, Logan didn't tuck his chin. Everybody's telling him to tuck his chin. Apparently, fucked himself up pretty good on the collision. But don't take my word for it. I could tell you all about this spot. But let's hear it from Logan Paul. What does Logan have to say about his big Royal Rumble appearance? Check out this clip.
One thing you have done, and I think the traditionalists, and we'll talk about this later in the episode, are noticing already, is you create the moment of the evening. You did it at Crown Jewel, and you did it again last night at Royal Rumble. You and Ricochet get on opposing ropes, and you springboard, called, yeah. and you basically you mark a spot visually, because they said great spot. Everybody online was saying that was a great spot. What does that mean exactly? Like is that the whole thing?
It's a good moment.
The whole moment. Got it. Sorry, I apologize. just run us through that moment really quick.
So yeah, the move was we both do what's called a springboard, which is where you jump and put your foot on the top rope and use it as a trampoline bounce. And then I can't believe this was possible. And by the way, when this move was pitched to me, I was like, is that possible? But generally when I have that reaction, it's a good thing, because if it is, it's incredible. I don't think it's been done before. The wrestling purists will perhaps come down on me for this one, but I don't think it's been done before, which is what I like to do. I like to chase those moments that are really fresh and innovative and create that social media buzz. So midair, trampoline bounce off the top rope, and me and Ricochet clothesline the shit out of each other at like 1,000 miles an hour. And then when we landed, because we're also falling from, it's got to be 7-8 feet.
Right.
Higher. Then I crawled out of the ring. I had some time there to sit on the edge. Someone gave me prime. Shout out to that person. Was refueled, got back in the ring, and managed to finish. But wow, this sport is hard, and it hurts, and it's so much fun, and I love it. And yesterday was amazing.
It's funny hearing people talk about wrestling that don't know anything about wrestling, right? Like his buddy there is just like, the spot, they call it a spot because you got to find your spot, and X marks the spot, and you zone in on your spot, and you got to land on your spot, right? That's why they call it a spot. Logan's like, no, it's the move. The thing is a spot. It's a good spot. Got to do the spot in the Royal Rumble where it's a spot, It's the whole angle, the move. So it's funny to listen to. But Logan loved it, man. He seems very excited about being back in the WWE. Look, we talked about this last week with John Morrison on the Insight podcast, kind of taking a dig at Logan Paul, kind of burying him, saying he doesn't think he has the passion for the business. I think John Morrison's an asshole. Clearly, Logan Paul has passion for the business, or he wouldn't be there. And he's got the excitement of a little child. You hear him sit and talk about this with his buddies. You know, he loves it. You can tell. Like I said, he's got the giddy excitement of a little child, just so enamored with the wrestling business and trying to learn and grow and get better. And even throughout his conversation with Cody Rhodes and stuff, and, you know, Cody put him over too. You know, he's excited to have him there. And he recognizes, they talked about this, that Logan, whether you like him or not, and I know Logan's got a lot of haters just inherently because of the kind of person that he is, you know. He's a bit divisive. He's a heel in real life. He's a heel. He just doesn't know it. He doesn't like to be called a heel. He doesn't like to think of himself as a heel. He wants to be the baby face. But after, you know, the Japanese suicide forest, I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. The self-deletion forest over in Japan. And then you have you know, the NFT gimmick that we talked about a couple weeks ago too, with CoffeeZilla. He's kind of exposing a scam that might be going on with that NFT project Logan's involved in. Then his goddamn pig gets let out in the wild, and there's Piggate with everything going on with that. And Logan just can't seem to catch a break. He's got a lot of haters going on right now. But despite all that, he keeps keeping on. His Prime drink got picked up by the UFC as the official sports drink of the UFC. So that's a pretty big, huge deal for Logan as well. And look, man, this wrestling thing, it's working for him. He's got a passion for it. He wants to be there. He's excited to be there, and he's goddamn good at it. And he brings in a lot of eyeballs. That spot alone at the Royal Rumble with the midair collision, that's going to get... The Rumble in general gets a lot of eyeballs that most shows don't get. You know, a lot of people will watch the Royal Rumble. You know, people have Royal Rumble parties and stuff, and people are seeing things at the Royal Rumble that are getting exposed to people at the Royal Rumble that they don't normally see. And Logan Paul's a big factor in that. He's the kind of guy that he's going to draw eyeballs from people that don't watch wrestling. You know, that midair collision, that's going to make a highlight reel. That's going to get out there on the TikToks and the Instagrams and stuff. And people are going to see it, and people are going to inevitably tune in out of curiosity. Not everybody, but even if it's just a couple people, like Cody Rhodes had said on that interview too, he talked about some of the reality shows that he did while he was in AEW and how people were kind of criticizing him for that, but the whole way he was looking at it is it was a way to bring in new viewers to the wrestling. He was doing it for the exposure of wrestling. Because people watch those shows that don't watch wrestling, like Total Divas and Total Bellas. People are familiar with guys like a Bryan Danielson, for example, John Laurinaitis even. People know wrestlers and wrestling personalities that have never even watched wrestling. They're familiar with it through those shows. So Logan brings in a lot of eyeballs. And even if a couple of those people, like Cody was, well, let me finish my thought there. Cody had said, even if I bring in 6 people that are now new wrestling fans because they saw this show and it grabbed their curiosity, that's a win. Consider that a win. So Logan's definitely bringing in new eyeballs, and it's an overall plus for the business. And he does have a passion for it, and he is really fucking good at it. And he's a natural heel, and I think him and Seth Rollins are going to have a fine match. I think initially the idea was Logan versus Cena, and then at least the rumor going around is that just because Logan's so green and John Cena's not really available, doesn't have the availability to kind of go over things in depth. So they kind of did the switcheroo where Cena can face Austin Theory now at Mania, which is, I guess, the plan. And then Logan can work with Seth because Seth will be available to kind of practice and go over things with Logan more. And, the fact that, we talked about this last week too with Morrison kind of ragging on Logan, that he's got to practice his matches and stuff. And though this is the case, I think, Logan's going to pick this shit up over time. He's starting to learn. He's learning the psychology a little bit more. He's working with all the greats. He's getting the experience in the ring with all these big stars and these big moments, and he's learning from them. And I really do think that Logan Paul is a net plus for the business, and it's only great things to go. Highly recommend checking out this episode of ImPaulsive, not just for the Cody Rhodes interview, which is fantastic, but also just like what we were just talking about, to get that perspective of the Royal Rumble, a day in the life of a Logan Paul at the Royal Rumble with his friends, what they're learning, what they're seeing, what they're experiencing, what they're going through, and what that was like. Logan said he got knocked pretty silly doing that move because he didn't tuck his chin, but he'll learn. One of these days he'll learn. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next.
Oh yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Yeah, and you can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on the channel. Oh yeah, dig it.